What's up, Sneaky Nation? Sneaky P here with my thoughts and my reaction to the Browns and Ravens game that took place yesterday. It's been a little bit since I've made one of these videos, but I definitely would like to get back into them a little bit more, so let's go ahead and talk about it. Obviously, this was a defensive battle through and through. Both defenses stepped up a lot. Both defenses really impressed me. And the offenses for both teams kind of struggled. They would move the ball down the field and get stuffed before they could make a field goal, or they'd miss a field goal. Obviously, we saw that happen. Different things that just kind of kept happening. They were moving the ball okay, but they weren't converting those into touchdowns a whole lot. I'll start off talking about the Ravens. Joe Flacco, 29-56, 298 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. Michael Crabtree struggled a little bit early on. He actually caught on late and started making some big catches towards the end of the game, but we saw a lot of drops from Crabtree again, something he's struggled with throughout his whole career, really. Alex Collins had an okay game. They really weren't running the ball a whole lot. The Ravens were having success on the ground. They had 4.6 yards to carry. It's not like they were playing from a huge deficit most of the game. And on 25 carries, 116 yards, I really don't know why they were not running the ball more frequently. Joe Flacco had averaged 5.3 yards per attempt. You know, if you're getting 4.6 yards on the ground, keep running the ball. And as the Browns would adjust to that, that should open things up for them to throw the ball a little bit more. Obviously, the Browns do have a good defensive line, and a few of those were just big runs, whereas other runs were getting stuffed. So that would kind of throw the averages off a little bit. But, I mean, still, if you're getting those big runs, getting 4.6 yards a carry, try running the ball a little bit more, and that might help Joe Flacco out in the receiving game a little bit. So I don't know why they decided to run the ball a whole lot, but, or didn't decide to anyway. But yeah, you know, John Brown's a receiver I really like. Didn't have the best game. He had 4 catches, but he did have 58 yards. But he's a guy that I do think is going to make some plays as the season goes on. Obviously, he's been doing okay. Willie Snead there. Allen with 6 catches for him out of the backfield, so that was good for their offense. And it's one reason I guess they go with him over Alex Collins a little bit more as far as snaps. I don't know who had more snaps. I just see that. Looks like Allen touched the ball a little bit more, but when you're contributing out of the receiving game, that's just going to happen. Allen did have that fumble, though. Defensively, you know, they got 5 sacks. They were getting pressure all day on the Browns. The Browns' offensive line was not looking very good. Even when they weren't getting sacks, it seemed like Baker Mayfield was under pressure frequently. So big shout out to the Ravens just going after him, making the rookie quarterback, throwing him into some tough situations, really. And I think they did a good job in the run game, too. I know Carlos Hyde had a few nice carries, but overall, it seemed like they stuffed him more often than not. And then, you know, they'd have a bunch of plays that go for no yards or maybe even negative yards in the running game, and then he'd bust one for, like, I see he had a 17-yard carry, and he had a few of those where he broke out into a big run. But overall, the Ravens defense, very, very good throughout the game. Talking about the Browns and Baker Mayfield, I think Baker Mayfield's a leader. I've been saying this. My complaints that I had about Mayfield coming into the season, they're not about who he is. It's how high is his ceiling. I've said all along, Baker Mayfield's a football player. He does have a place in this league. Do I see him ever being a top 5 quarterback? I don't. I do think he could have a few seasons where he's a top 10 quarterback, though. Maybe more than a few, possibly. I don't see him ever being a top 5 quarterback, but the guy's a football player, man, and he did not have a lot of help today, again, or yesterday, I should say. He was under pressure all the time, it seemed, and he was still making some plays happen. The one interception he threw, it didn't really look like it was much his fault. It looked like the receiver and him had a miscommunication. The receiver started darting up the field, kind of in an interesting spot. I don't know what he was thinking in that regard. Kind of looked like it might have been his fault, but I could be mistaken on that. Carlos Hyde. I love Carlos Hyde. Carlos Hyde plays the game the right way, man. He does have his faults. He's not a very good pass blocker, and he's not very good out of the backfield in the receiving game, but as a runner, that guy will fight for yards. I really don't put his 3.7 yards to carry on him at all, because the second he was touching the ball, he was getting tackled a lot. And whenever he had a little bit of room to work with, he was fighting for those extra yards. So I think he played a lot better than his stats would show. I just think the Browns offensive line really was not helping him out. Duke Johnson had 7 yards to carry. He had a 15-yard carry there. Baker Mayfield scrambled a few times. Didn't see a whole lot of Nick Chubb. Jarvis Landry kind of like Crabtree. Started off a little bit slow and then kind of came alive towards the end of the game. Made some big plays for them. David Njoku, I remember one drop he had, but 6 catches, 69 yards for him. Pretty solid. Callaway, not a great game for him, I'd say. Again, a few drops there. Only 3 catches for 22 yards, but he had some more opportunities that I just feel like he didn't really capitalize on. Browns defense, though, they looked great as well. Jabril Peppers has been impressing me a lot more than I thought he would. I really did not like him coming out of the draft last season, and I still don't feel like he had a great rookie season, but he looked really good in yesterday's game. I will say that. Jamie Collins got a sack. Obviously, we all know about him. Schobert played a pretty good game as well. And then, of course, dude, they're so good. Larry Ogunjobi and Myles Garrett. Ogunjobi, I like a lot, dude. I'm rooting for him. And then Myles Garrett just wrecks havoc. And they played a pretty good game overall. They had 8 quarterback hits, as many as the Ravens. They had less sacks, though, which is kind of crazy, because you'd think Mayfield would avoid the sacks a little bit more than Flacco, but I think Mayfield was under pressure a lot more than Flacco was throughout the game. But very impressed with them. And then, of course, Denzel Ward, who... the dude is absolutely killing it, man. He is looking like an all-pro corner out of the gate. And if you guys remember my mock draft, I said I thought the Browns should take Denzel Ward at 4. And that's looking like a great pick for them right now, dude. Obviously, there's some other guys that are having great rookie seasons, but he should be Defensive Rookie of the Year in my mind right now. And like I said, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if he made the Pro Bowl at this rate, dude. He is absolutely killing it. So impressed by him. This Browns defense has such a bright future. The offense is just not there yet. They've really struggled. They have been playing better with Baker Mayfield, and I expect their offense will get things going a little bit more as Mayfield becomes more comfortable. But that offensive line needs to help him out a little bit if they're going to have any kind of success. But the defense is holding on strong. The Browns are now 2-2-1. You could easily make an argument that they should be 5-0 right now. So the talent is there. It's just about getting this offense going. And if they can do that, man, it's so weird to say they can make the playoffs, because I've maintained all offseason I didn't see it happening. The Ravens fall to 3-2 with this loss, though. So the Browns really aren't that far behind them. The Steelers are not looking very good. They definitely looked better against the Falcons, and maybe that one game's going to turn their season around. That could certainly happen. The Bengals are looking pretty good, I would say, though. So they're obviously in that conversation. The whole division's, you know, it's weird. It's like the teams I didn't think were going to be good are playing better. The teams I thought would be good are playing worse. And they're all still kind of in that conversation as to who is going to end up winning. But the Browns might have a chance now, which I would not have thought prior to the season. But that defense is much further along than I thought they would be right now. Offense is kind of lagging behind, but they got a lot of potential. They could turn it around. But yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on yesterday's game. I would like to make a video talking about the 49ers season so far. I've been planning on doing it for a few days now, but I just get so depressed every time I think about it. But maybe I'll try to record that soon, guys. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Later.